Welcome back into the Outlaw Lawyers. Josh Whitaker and Joe Hamer, your hosts, practicing attorneys, managing partners at Whitaker and Hamer Law Firm. And again, practicing attorneys here in North Carolina. Offices practically everywhere. Raleigh, Garner, Clayton, Goldsboro, Fuquay, Varina, and Gastonia. If you've got a legal situation you're dealing with, you've got questions, we've got a phone number for you so you can get some answers. Here it is, 800-659-1186. That's 800-659-1186. Leave your contact information, briefly what the call's about. An attorney with Whitaker and Hamer will be in touch. And you can always email your questions to the program, questions@theoutlawlawyer.com. Gentlemen, take it away.
So, Joe, the case we're going to talk about now is Johnny Depp, Amber Heard defamation trial. So I always like to kind of set the stage so we know. I think the media a lot of times will report on these court cases and they don't lead with, all right, where is this being tried? Is this federal or state? You know, what's going on here? And so this is a state court case in Virginia between Depp and Heard, who were married and were divorced. Is that right? Does that sound right, Joe?
Yeah, quite the tumultuous, quite the tumultuous marriage, and it's a very interesting case. It's one of those things where, if this was just regular people, you never hear about this. This isn't an outcome that affects really anybody but these two people. There's no great legal precedent that's at issue here. This isn't going to change the course of history. But it's just an interesting thing because it's two people that are in the public eye. It's a case that, it kind of got publicized before it even became a case because you heard the allegations from both sides in the news, in the media over time. And it was just one of those very interesting things. And in the case of Johnny Depp, you had potentially, I'd say he was one of the biggest, if not the biggest actor in the game for a long period of time. And in many ways, his career just kind of tanked in a lot of ways over the allegations of Amber Heard and the things that are at issue in this trial. So very interesting case. And it's something that's really kind of permeated social media. You've seen it a lot, especially recently in the last week or so, because it's kind of being live streamed. The trial is. So you've seen a lot of video clips and little short clips, just taking things and putting them out there in the media. So it's just been a very interesting thing that we've kind of had a window into.
Yeah, this is. I think it's important that you said that this is not an important case, right? In the legal world, this case is just another case, and the only reason we even know about it is because both of the people in it are famous, and I can't believe that it's gone to trial. Usually people, famous or not, usually these kind of cases they're he said, she said cases. This is small claims court. This is Judge Wapner stuff. This is, usually you don't want your dirty laundry aired out in public. And so these cases rarely ever go to trial because even the party that brings it is just kind of hoping to work something out, maybe settle it. I don't think anyone intends to go in and have all your alcohol abuse, drug abuse, fights with your spouse, just poured over by the national media. So the fact that this is even being tried is just bananas to me because, defamation, libel, slander, these type of lawsuits are hard to win. We've talked about a couple on the Outlaw Lawyer in the past, but these are hard cases to win. They're very expensive to litigate, and your dirty laundry gets aired, and it doesn't sound like they have any problems. This is
well, I tell you one. I'm going to speculate because I don't know this for a fact. If you look at it, especially in Johnny Depp's case, if you look at what these allegations from Amber Heard, what kind of transpired in his career, what a toll that it took on him, I almost would speculate that he's happy for this to go to trial and to put a lot of this stuff out there. Because if you've watched his testimony, he seems very comfortable with a lot of the dirty laundry aspects, like his drug use. I think he kind of is comfortable with who he is, and he's kind of owned that. And I think it's more for him. I almost feel like he's happy to have a lot of this heard and to kind of clear the air through testimony of himself and other individuals and kind of put all this out there into the public eye and a more, where it's all fleshed out and you get context and you can hear a lot of these things. I think he's almost happy to have a lot of this heard and seen because I think if you look at it, at least from a public perception, what I've gathered looking at that is it seems like the public is kind of looking at him a lot more favorably the more that comes out of this.
What's so it was I had to read. I didn't actually know what started this case. I've seen it in the news, but I haven't paid a lot of attention to it. So I actually had to look at what started. And so Amber Heard was approached by it sounds like maybe a nonprofit that represents or tries to get the word out about domestic abuse, spousal abuse, and encouraged her to write this op-ed piece that was published in the Washington Post. I don't ever read the Washington Post. It got bought by Amazon, right? And I don't think I've read it since then. But and it didn't mention Johnny Depp by name, but talked about in the past couple of years how she suffered this abuse. So it implied that he abused her. And that's where he filed a defamation action, and in doing so, his attorneys released some statements from her that she thought defamed her. So she filed a counterclaim for defamation. So we got a double defamation lawsuit. And
you don't always get that double defamation, man. That is a rare one.
But whatever, and I can't imagine what these attorneys are charging for this case. And they, whatever outcome there is, I'm sure the other party is going to appeal. Right? It's a heated case. Jury's going to come back. There's going to be an avenue for appeal. So this one's probably going to get appealed no matter what. I was trying to think, what was the last? So she was what? She was in Aquaman. Is that what she's famous for? Aquaman.
Man, I don't know that I'd say she's famous for Aquaman. The first movie that I'm not a scholar on Amber Heard, but the first movie that I remember Amber Heard being in was Pineapple Express. That's the first movie I remember her being in.
All right, I'm doing some research while you guys discuss. Go ahead.
I have seen Pineapple Express and enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, that was kind of her. In my opinion, that was her breakout role. She was the young high school girlfriend of Seth Rogen's character. So she was in Pineapple Express. She was in a few things after that, but then I would say probably Aquaman was most likely her biggest role that I can recall.
All right, so let me throw some at you. She got into the biz, first thing that we see, 2004, Jack and Bobby. She played Liz. She was also in Friday Night Lights. Let's see.
Okay, that's something. Friday Night Lights, the TV show, I'm assuming.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. I'm assuming that that might be. They actually had the movie
I think that's
too.
it. I think that makes more sense.
Yeah, and then let's see, The Mountain, The OC. Let's see, Alpha Dog, Criminal Minds TV series she has been in.
Okay. These are all. This all makes sense. But I'm gonna say that first big thing was probably that Pineapple Express. That's what I'm gonna say.
All right. Let's see, Californication. She was in that series.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, a lot of these I haven't seen.
You haven't seen anything, Josh. This is a me and Morgan talk. This isn't for you.
Well, I am looking. When did Pineapple Express come out?
I'm going to say 2009, 8?
Right. Aquaman was 2018. She has been in a couple of those. Actually,
2008 was Pineapple Express.
Yeah, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is in post-production, so it has not been released.
And they kept her, there was some speculation she was going to get removed from that because there was, if you looked at how this played out, her op-eds published, there's a lot of backlash against Johnny Depp. His career takes a big hit. And then gradually it started to come out that his allegations that she was actually physically abusive towards him and a lot of anecdotal things. You hear the story, like one of the wildest things is you hear the story of her eating and this is all alleged in the testimony that she ate a cheesy gordita crunch and then defecated in his bed. That was one of the things that that was one of the things that was alleged. There's some wild stuff, man.
If that's true, if that comes out to be true, and I'm sure she'll deny it. I don't know how you prove it, but if that was true, you should be de facto strict liability crazy, right? If you did that,
pooping in a bed, man, that's one thing. But to take that extra step to eat the cheesy gordita crunch beforehand, that's like first degree bed pooping right there. That's premeditated.
I'm gonna get Taco Bell needs to file in as a third party for this like triple defamation.
No, man, because truth is a defense to defamation, and I think they could call thousands of witnesses that have eaten cheesy gordita crunches or any Taco Bell food that could testify that it'll cause you some trouble, man.
Defamation by defecation.
I knew it was coming.
that's a legal.
Hey, this
term
is a
of
serious.
art.
We're making light of this, but it's an interesting thing, and one of the reasons why it's interesting is one, you've got both parties alleging this abuse, but it's kind of a non-traditional thing, and it's something that you don't see a lot of, where you've got a man that's alleging abuse. And one of the things that's been at issue here, and it was actually a soundbite that was played where you have Miss Heard basically on audio stating, go ahead, Johnny, and tell everyone that you were a man that was abused, and basically kind of berating him and belittling him, and essentially saying that no one's going to believe him if he does this. And that was kind of that was actually what his team ended with when they ended his testimony. They played that clip, and he was basically like, yeah, yes, I am. This did happen to me. So,
well, I know it's tough to predict, but do you guys have predictions on how this may turn out?
oh man.
I think my only prediction is that it won't be over, right? Whatever the jury finds, I think it's getting appealed, and
I think
we'll
that's
have someone
safe. And again, I'm gonna going back to kind of the motivation. I don't know that Johnny Depp, it's said that he didn't have a prenup when he married this seemingly very well balanced and calm and not crazy at all lady, and I think he probably lost a ton of money in the fallout from that, in the divorce. But this is a guy who was wealthy beyond anything we can understand. So I think he's going to be okay, even though his career took a hit. I think he's going to be just fine. I don't know that there's really monetary motivation for him. I'm sure he wouldn't be upset with some kind of monetary reward. But I think more than anything, just getting all this information out into the public eye and kind of getting him some public vindication is really the reward for him in a lot of ways.
What's the last thing he was in? Was it Pirates of the Caribbean? Is that the last thing?
The bad new Harry Potter movies. He was in those.
Oh, I haven't
And
seen.
they recast him. They put the guy. What's that guy? The guy who played Hannibal in the Hannibal TV show. Is it Mads Mikkelsen? Is that the guy's name?
Not up on that series, no.
No,
I
it's a
don't even know what
terror
that
because
is.
it's bad. I
Oh,
think it's
okay.
bad. I think it's really.
What was the
bad,
last good
actually.
thing he did?
Probably Pirates.
Probably. You know what? We do research on this show, so I
I haven't seen
Pirates of the Caribbean, a certified classic, and they kind of took a dive sort of in quality as it continued. Started out hot and still decent, enjoyable movies, but they suffered in quality the longer it went on. But it looks like the last good thing he was in. It's tough to say, man. It's tough.
Well,
to
I think
say.
the only Johnny Depp movie I've seen from beginning to end was Edward Scissorhands, and I saw it like 15 years after it came out.
Yeah, Edward Scissorhands. Your kids never had you watch the newer Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
No, we boycotted it. It didn't look good.
No Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
I read the book.
No Donnie Brasco?
No, I haven't seen it.
Nightmare on Elm
What's
Street,
Eating Gilbert
1984.
Hold on, which one was
Nightmare
that?
on Elm Street. You've seen Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yeah, the original,
seen-
1984.
Yeah, well, he was in that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess I
He was
saw
one,
that.
he was one of the boyfriends that bought it.
Yeah, he gets got.
He was in Platoon. I didn't know that. Yeah, I remember him now. He was in Platoon.
He had a robust career, and he became genuinely. I mean, it was really that Pirates of the Caribbean that did it. But he's, like I said, one of the biggest stars. Period.
And he took a lot of risks too. I mean, What's Eating Gilbert Grape? He also did Ed Wood, which was just absolutely crushed, but a lot of people liked it. I mean, he's done some interesting work.
Well, I'm gonna keep following this case. I've been following it in the New York Times. I've been trying to not kind of look at the national media's 30-second take on it. The New York Times has done a really good job of following this from beginning to end. So I'll keep looking at it. Is that our official prediction? It doesn't matter who wins; it's getting appealed. I think that's going to be an official.
It's getting appealed. And just as a note on his net worth, it looks like they've got his current net worth at $150 million. It was previously, it looks like around $700-800 million. And so that shows you what the allegations plus the divorce kind of did to him there.
Man.
The Outlaw Lawyers, Josh Whitaker and Joe Hamer. You can find them at Whitaker and Hamer Law Firm. They're the managing partners there. And again, to remind you, practicing attorneys here in North Carolina. Offices in Raleigh, Garner, Clayton, Goldsboro, Fuquay, Varina, and Gastonia. If you've got your own legal situation that you're going through and you got some questions, we've got a phone number for you, 800-659-1186. That's 800-659-1186. Just leave your contact information, briefly what the call's about, and an attorney with Whitaker and Hamer will be in touch. And you can email your questions to the program, questions@theoutlawlawyer.com. We'll answer those on a future program. And please check out the website, theoutlawlawyer.com. So Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, that defamation trial, we've talked about that. And coming up, it'll be Kennedy versus Bremerton School District. That's all next on The Outlaw Lawyer.